Good morning. Welcome everybody to the DTS trading room. November 2nd, second day of November, end of the first week. We have interesting morning today. It's a Friday, unfortunately. All right. First of all, market. We are gapping up in general. Huge difference between the SPY and the Q, and that's because of Apple, maybe another tech stock. The SPY is gapping up $1.50. That's what the market is doing today. It's kind of hard to distinguish what the market is when Apple affects other stocks and everything. But a split thing here today. SPY gapping up. We have enough consolidation that the intraday pattern can keep going higher here. Again, in terms of the big picture, I decided back at the top up here I would not try to go long this bottom. I almost changed that, but this has really not been a good opportunity. I'm talking about swing or long term to go, core long term. So I've been holding off doing that because even though I decided down here would be okay between the gap and everything, it's just not been real cohesive. So I'm just watching this go up. I don't know how far we will go up. I'll have to see what happens. But long-term picture, is unclear if we're going to stall somewhere or if we're just going to keep grinding. Intraday, though, we just followed an intraday pattern until it breaks. Intraday hourly chart is up this entire week, and we continue to consolidate. This gap going to, let's call it 275, is right in here. That's not very big in the big picture. It probably causes some selling sometime this morning. The Qs, of course, I didn't do the math and I don't really care, but Apple, being a huge part of the Qs, is causing the gap down. Apple is gapping down what? Apple's gapping down 6%, so that's a big gap. The Qs were up also, and that's kind of a bearish thing. The Qs were up around boy, they were as high as 173 at one point. Now they're down to 171 and a half. So the Qs were actually gapping up almost a buck as well, despite Apple gapping down. So there's still a lot of bullishness out there despite the negative gap on the Qs right now. All that is really tis neither here nor there for today. I really could care less about all that, just rhetoric, because we do have. I'm going to go right to the gap list because that's where the action is to me today. To me, everything is a short today. Let's start off by saying that there's two long gaps I like. I haven't gone over. Well, I've gone over all of them, but I haven't finalized anything. So let's just take a look here. The NIHD I think is a bullish gap. It probably won't be my focus, but it could if it sets up really nice at some point. And Starbucks I think was the other one. Don't hold me to that, but I think Starbucks and NIHD were the two that are bullish gaps. Starbucks is rather amazing because it has gotten into a difficult area and looks like it may just go right through it. Never short coffee. And let me look at the rest of these real quick. All the rest of these are short to me. So those first two are bullish gaps. And I'm going to come back and give a better synopsis of them, but those are generally bullish gaps. Everything else looks short to me. PAC B, not the best one here. EAF, I'm going to put as a short watch, a gap up short watch. Excel, it has to rally first, but if it rallied a lot, I'd be okay with it. Same thing with Semantic. No, Semantic doesn't have to rally. Semantic. There's going to be like 10 gaps in here that I like, so it may not even do anything else. PAC-B's cash buyout. All right, thanks. Yeah, I didn't even list that one right. Yeah, because that was gapping up $12,000. VeriSign is, I'm not gonna. That is, both ways. I'm just gonna leave that off the screen. Starbucks we talked about. EXTR, I'm gonna put on here as a short. Sedge is a short. NHD is talked about, and Sticks. Could be kind of a favorite short. It's going to 44.30. So there's a lot of short gap up watches. One or two of those will be a favorite almost for sure. This is again one of these, out of the gates days for me because there's no way there's not going to be a half dozen things I like this morning near the open. So it's going to be one of those, probably try to give things a little more room, shotgun it over 2-3 plays. You never know on any one of these. Like I say, any one could not work. So I hate to put all my eggs in one basket, have one stock to go after, and then have that one not work and have 6 other stocks, work like crazy. So I'm probably going to spread around a little bit over a couple, three stocks and just keep stops a little wider, take quicker first profits, and add in if I can. Gapping down, we have a variety of nice gaps. And by the way, I haven't even looked at what you guys typed on the screen today. Sorry, I just overwhelmed with what I have here. I don't really need a whole lot of other stuff here. Unless you think I'm missing something, it's absolutely good. But there's some good stuff here. PBYI, I'll look at later. It's a big gap. It's probably one of the could looked at later. Hang on. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that on a way out thumbnail here. You look around some mornings, we have nothing to do, and here this morning, I wish we could take these gaps and put them 2 per day for the next week, because some are going to go to waste. You can't follow this many. OLED is gapping all the way to 95. Now, believe it or not, this looks great on the surface, and it is a really good gap, but this is flawed a little bit. 3 bars instead of 1 makes a difference. It waters this down, and it even though it needs to gap that much to clear everything, that huge gap can also water things down. So I certainly like this one. I don't think it's going to be my favorite. I'm putting it on a chart for sure. It'll be a favorite here. This is going to come down to what gives me the best entry in terms of what's the best strategic entry, as well as what's going to be tradable. Weight Watchers, I know from experience, boy, it's trading pretty well today. I was going to say Weight Watchers is never tradable early. It's already done 140,000. No, that's cheap pro. It's done 45,000. I almost feel like it's a waste of time to look at this one. It's a good gap. It's going to 57. With the other ones on here, I'm not going to push that one because it's just never tradable. G Pro is like OLED, except it's not clearing. So that puts that as it still could be good, but it's not going to make the top cut. CC, Circuit City trading 31 on the offer. This doesn't do it. Not going to be my fave. I'll put it on a back burner chart. So what I have so far is OLED. Okay, then Tex down to 3280. Tex on a back burner chart. Elks. You're probably saying there's only one on here so far, but a lot is at the end. I like Elks. I like Elks. I'm going to call that a favorite. Put it next to OLED. 2725. All right. SYF is going to open at 2725. Put that as a favorite. Apple is opening at 207. Putting that as a favorite. These, of course, are all shorts. And in some of these, I don't know if they will trade up a little first. I always hope they do, because it's hard to get entries if they just drop out of the gates if you're not already decided you're going to trade that period. KHC, I think, is a real favorite too. KHC, I like a lot. This does good volume. KHC may even be the favorite for me today. And then FTNT is the last one. FTNT, not gapping now. Forget FTNT. All right. Is this? Holy cow. Did you see Sticks? What's up with Sticks? Somebody really, seriously. They do morning earnings today. Sticks just went from my favorite short as a gap up. It was up at 45. Now it's gapping down to 39. Wow. Holy cow. They did earnings this morning? I mean, this is a sudden reaction. This is all of a sudden, bam, at 9 o'clock. They do them at 9 o'clock? What a stupid time to do it. So we have a whole slew of favorites there on the gap list today. And unfortunately, I have a couple favorites that aren't even gapping. So I'm going to take a quick look at them. So I want to watch the Ford GM thing. Well, I'm just seeing everything is short today except for those couple of gaps. I mean, I'm actually going to use just the top line of my thumbnails for bullish and everything else bearish. Ford and GM I want to keep an eye on. Again, I don't know when these would come into play, but if we gap and we rally, GM can't get above this base, or Ford can't get above this base. I like those short ideas. MU is good enough to be called going climactic daily and hourly. If this goes up a lot more today, it is. It's gapping down. All right, that's probably related to the whole tech thing, so that's probably not going to work. Cisco would be a kind of a go-to short using this base here if we don't get over that ever. I'm gonna put those three out there, Cisco and the two car dealers. And then MRO, a beautiful little downtrending 15-minute chart there. It, of course, is oil with a big question mark by it. G-Pro, didn't I do G-Pro? Yeah, yeah, I did. I put on a back burner chart. FDC actually looks higher to me. There's a bullish FDC, and ATVI also looks higher to me. So those two will go there, and then NIHD and Starbucks are the bullish gaps. Not going to be my go-to things this morning, but later this morning could be good. Daily charts. Okay, we got 12 minutes looking good. All right, so we're looking good time-wise here. Axis, what is this? Roku. Did I? Yeah, I had a really poor daily watch. No surprise because we're in daily downtrend and rallied 3 days, right? And that makes daily charts very difficult to find something you like by definition. And I'll probably put a couple of favorites from the daily chart out here as short watches. Like I already have GM. Like I think Facebook is going to be a favorite short. Yeah, Facebook. See this little area here? Facebook under here, stuck under that would be a nice short. And I'm going to have enough. Apple, not Apple. So you know how I kind of like to say 95% of the time, we're not, even as day traders, we're kind of laid back. Of course, when you go to enter something, you have to enter it if you want to enter it. But this morning might be a little more hectic. I got to figure what I'm going to stare at this morning because I got to pick one or two that I'm not going to miss no matter what. I'm kind of thinking I like KHC. But again, I don't know what it's going to look like tradability wise. Apple will be tradable. It's tradable right now pre-market. Apple is actually rallying to pre-market highs, sort of. SYF is continuing to drop. I have no idea if it'll be tradable or not. Alex, not trading a whole lot. OLED trading like a banshee and very sideways. OLED has been around 95.5 all morning. Sticks all over the place since they just did earnings. Sedge is falling off of pre-market highs. These are the extended ones that I'd like to see rally a lot. XTR is falling off pre-market highs. Symantec has been dead sideways. I may end up liking Symantec a lot. EXTR. A couple of my favorites are fell well off their highs. Overall, this is a good general setup this morning. We are not necessarily bullish on the daily chart, but yet we rallied 3 days. We have a lot of confusion this morning and gap ups that are extended and some gap downs that are bearish, meaning that the way that the bearish view would be ruined this morning is if the market took off and flew higher, and it can happen any day, but it's not like this is a new breakout gap. This is the 3rd day up in a downtrend, so the odds of the market not following through the upside are very high, and we're playing bearish patterns. So the concept here today is very good. What I don't want to do is, blow it, screw up, 2 trades early and then be, a little gun shy. So PBYI is all the way down to 24. See that not rally back initially. I like it lower, but those usually got to wait a little bit of time for. Sometimes they keep dropping, but too many times they rally back initially. Market is just coming off pre-market lows, dropped quite a bit since early this morning. Interesting also, look at this. Apple is at pre-market highs, and yet the Qs are at pre-market lows, and the SPY is also at pre-market lows. So there's a big bearish wave coming through here, bigger than it looks, because the Qs dropped all that much with Apple kind of rallying, since 8 o'clock this morning. Now we got 4 minutes to go. Save your pages. Yeah, we've been talking about it, Tom, quite a bit. To a down and back to neutral again. Why was that gapping up so much if it hadn't even done earnings yet? I guess they were a little wild all morning. At 8 o'clock, they were up at $45. They fell back down to flat, rallied back to 45. Maybe it was just anticipation of the report. Put AXL on the gap list also. All right, we're off. KHC 5190 by 53. Good to go. KHC 5190 53. I'm trying to get the poster. I'm going to try, yeah, 5190 53.